Let's talk about the uh, not just the Catholic Church, but also the other churches. In fact, I lose track. I don't know how many types of churches are there. So you have the Catholic and you have the Protestant. I think the Protestants, whether they have 100 denominations or 200 or 500, I don't know. I think you may be in a better position to tell. But the uh, truth is that churches as institutions, they continue to wield that same tripe which they used to do 500 years back. And if you see what is happening in, say, for instance, there's Andhra Pradesh is pretty much in the limelight, and there is some 44 temples have been either vandalized or desecrated over the last few months. And they are still going around teaching that, okay, the other gods are satanic, and you have the whole truth and nobody else has the whole truth, and you have the exclusive path to heaven and everybody else is going to hell. And in 21st century, these kinds of exclusivist hateful teachings, I mean, where is the end to this?
Sanjay, you brought out a very important aspect, and it's very important to understand. Firstly, the Catholic Church or the numerous denominations that existed and very different levels of reformation happened at different point of time, as far as the Christian faith is concerned, happened because people wanted something different at that stage in terms of understanding God. So you're going to have reformation happening all the time. If you remember in our last conversation, I also raised the point that it was necessary for us to have a church that's more Indian focused, rather than having 100% allegiance to Vatican. You need to have an Indian church. The faith is not the problem, because the faith really teaches you eventually. And if you really understand the Christian faith is about loving God and loving your neighbor as yourself. That's how simple as it is. There's nothing, everything else can be interpreted in the manner in which you want to interpret it, right? The point is, when it got institutionalized, like in the Roman Catholic Church, because at that stage, if you go 800 AD ahead, you realize that there was a reason for it to fuse into a sort of a political setup. And then as it went along, it started to spread in a political setup. That's why you had the Protestant Reformation. Then you had the Anglicans. Then you had the evangelists. Now in places like America and Europe, you have Baptists, Methodists, believers, etc., and the denominations just keep growing bigger. Now the problem is this, okay? When they come to a place like India and they see the belief system, the cultural system that we have, which is of worshipping nature and understanding a lot of our beliefs, which is driven by Sanatana Dharma, they think that that belief system that the people of India have, that ancient belief system, is evil. Okay. Why do they believe that's evil? Because that's how their mind is conditioned. That salvation is only through Jesus. Salvation is only through their church. The question is, what or who was Jesus? What was the message? Today, it's a very simple analogy. I'm a father with 2 kids, right? So let's assume one is a Hindu, one is a Christian. Do you think I, as a father, would be having a difference between both of them if I have created both of them? No. So the idea of God, when it got pushed into a religion, and the 2 main religions really, Christianity and Islam, the proselytization of that religion was done either through force or through coercion. And that's how they spread. Even if you go back as old as the battle for Jerusalem between the Christians and the Muslims, with Salahuddin and Richard Lionheart of the Crusades, you will realize that there was a tacit understanding between Christians and Islamists to spread their religion in areas where really the religion didn't exist. So what you had were nature worshippers everywhere. So to them, they consider that to be evil. So today, when they come into your country, they look at who? Who are they looking at? They're not looking at the well-to-do people. They're looking at the tribals. They're looking at the downtrodden. They're looking at people who want jobs. They're looking at people who want education. They're looking at people who want healthcare. They bridge that gap. So when people talk about conversions, when people are talking about the spread of Christianity or Islam, my question to every single Indian who follows the Sanatan Dharma principle is, why do they convert, and what is the solution? The conversion is happening, Sanjay, simply because for many years, these people that get targeted seem to feel neglected, and that is why they move to other religions. I'll give you a case in Tamil Nadu of a fisherman community. They moved from being Hindus to being Christians, then from being Christians to being Muslims. Then they came back to being Christians. Okay, there is a particular case. So it was gar vapsis of different gars.
Peripatetic.
Right, so the mentality, see, again, what many people fail to understand is who are they targeting? Which is a strata of society they are targeting. And in order to stop it, Sanjay, it is important for us first to get Sanatan Dharma principles out there in the open. We need to have more temples. We need to have more education of Sanatan Dharma and what we stand for. That, I believe, has been lost. And the proselytization happening with Christianity and Islam is much more than the noise and the education that needs to be, or the voice and the education that Sanatan Dharma followers must be making. Number one. Number two, your anti-conversion laws need to be very strict at state level and at central level. But you know what? At a central level, it's going to be very difficult for any government at the center, in order to have a global image, to be able to deal with conversions. So the point is, what is the solution forward? And the solution is the other way, it's the harder way. But today, this belief I have in Sanatan Dharma, Sanjay, has come because of my questions that arise reading and understanding a little bit of what Jesus was trying to teach. And then it started to raise questions in my mind. And that is how I went looking for what is the answer. And that is how I got introduced to the beliefs of Sanatan Dharma, which is about finding the God in you and finding the God around you. So you see, for me, my karmic progression has been from my birth in a Christian family to fully understanding Sanatan Dharma because of the questions that came for me while following my own faith, right? Much the same way for people, the Hindus, the followers of Sanatan Dharma, the beliefs lie within you. We need to be able to share that with others. We need to educate people about that. In India first. Today, where is Christianity abroad, Sanjay? People are leaving the church abroad, so they need more people. Whether it's evangelicals, whether it's Methodists, whether it's Protestants, look at America. Nobody goes to the churches anymore. But people more are accepting the Sanatan Dharma faith. Why? Because it is making absolute logic. We are in the age of knowledge. We are not in the dark ages anymore. We lived through a dark age. So to me, I think we have to look at the solution in different measures. As followers of Sanatan Dharma, as Christians, as Hindus, as Muslims, and as the government. That is the only way we can keep harmony together. Because you know what will happen? Eventually, they will use religion against us. Hindu, Muslims, Christians, Sikhs fighting. That's exactly what our enemies would need. So today, to stop conversions, it's my request to followers of Sanatan Dharma, please make it an attempt to bring the knowledge, the beauty of our culture out in the open to more people, more books, more shows, more television interviews. You know, it's not. Let me put it to you this way: nobody writes about rape accusations that happened to a priest, by a priest, or by a bishop. Bishop Franco Mulakal was probably the first time media actually aggressively and assertively wrote about it. But if it was
Right.
a Hindu sage or a Hindu Baba, you would have had papers running reams and reams and reams of articles. And that is where it starts, Sanjay. So we have to take our education out. We have to take our education to the people so that we spread the beauty of Sanatan Dharma. Because really, the crust of every religion is actually faith. But unfortunately, the institution dominates the faith. And that's very true as far as the Catholic Church is concerned in many serious issues, like sexual abuse as well.